In this video, I will share with you my 2 cents on how we can stop the stigma of psychedelics as soon as possible. Because you and I are a part of this movement and we have to be proactive if we wish to see a change. Because we only have a limited amount of time. If the society doesn't become conscious fast enough, then we are gonna face extinction. And psychedelics, I truly believe, are one of the, if not the most powerful tool to raise the consciousness of the planet. So one thing that you and I have to do if we wish to speed up the change of this movement is by walking the talk. We have to be the change we wish to see in others. So if you want people to take psychedelics responsibly, you have to take them responsibly as well. And if you want people around you to be loving and not harm others, then be loving and don't harm others. So before you judge somebody for doing something or not doing something else, make sure you have mastered that area of your life. We also have to talk openly about our experiences. Because when it comes to marijuana, for example, the people who are most likely to vote for marijuana in opposed to against it is those who know somebody who smokes. So if you know somebody who is taking psychedelics and who has benefited from them, you are more likely to be pro-psychedelics, or at least you will not be so dogmatic against them. Talking about your experiences can sometimes be hard. I remember telling my mom that I am into psychedelics and that I take LSD and stuff. And she responded to that horribly. Like, she was afraid that I am a drug addict and that I will die or at least go crazy because of these drugs. And that was never my intention, and it is an unfortunate side effect. And I'm still not sure, by the way, whether I should hide it or go out with the truth. Because I knew that on one hand, I would temporarily cause my mom some fear and paranoia. On the other hand, she is now over the period of thinking that I am a drug addict, and she is much more open about psychedelics and about their benefits, despite the fact that she is kind of a conservative. So even people like that can change their mind about psychedelics. It has to become okay. It has to become accepted in our society. Just like homosexuality had to become accepted. It still is difficult for many homosexuals to come out and say that they are gay, but it is better now than it used to be 50 years ago. And the way we got to this point is by many people accepting and talking openly about their homosexuality. Like, I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk has taken psychedelics in the past, and I am pretty sure that he benefited from them. I don't think he talked about it openly though. Now imagine that he did talk about it, or that he will talk about it in the future. That will help the movement so much. And you and I may not have as much impact as Elon Musk, but we still have some impact, especially over people around us. So we have to be willing to spread the word, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea to just force psychedelics on everybody. Some people are not yet open to hearing about how MDMA cured your PTSD. And on top of that, talking too much about the benefits can actually cause a backlash. And this is exactly what happened in their history. This is exactly what happened because of Timothy Leary and a few other psychonauts. So we have to be open about the negatives as well. And this is actually where people can start listening to us even if they are against psychedelics. Because when you are talking to somebody who thinks that LSD will fry your brain, and you start talking about the benefits of healing depression and PTSD and how LSD rid you of anxiety, they will not want to listen. You will just polarize them even more. Unfortunately, most people are not open enough to look at PubMed or to listen to some trip reports. They will just throw you into a hippie category, or they will think that you are a drug addict. But when you talk to a person who is super close-minded about the benefits of psychedelics, and you start talking about how they increase your chance of schizophrenia if you are predisposed to it, or that you can overheat on MDMA, or that you can end up drinking too much water or too little water. When you talk about these risks for 2 minutes straight, and then you mention that, oh, there is a study where they showed that psilocybin cures tobacco addiction, they will listen. But if you walk into a conversation being like LSD saved my life, treats depression, treats PTSD, treats anxiety, lowers stress, you unfortunately will get ignored and the person will probably be even more likely to vote against psychedelics once the time comes. We have to take psychedelics responsibly, by the way, and we have to teach psychonauts who already believe in the benefits to be safe. Because when you take LSD and you mix it with alcohol in a club and then you jump out of a window, you can be sure that it will show up in the media. And they will not say that a kid took LSD irresponsibly with alcohol. They will just say that the kid took LSD and jumped out of a window. This, by the way, is pretty sad because I believe that the alcohol played even bigger role in that than LSD. But you will never hear in the news that a kid drank alcohol and then he decided to jump out of a window. But yeah, we have to play with the rules of the society if we wish to help the society integrate psychedelics. And the less people get harmed by psychedelics, the less impact, the less power will media have to show how bad psychedelics are. By the way, there is this organization called MAPS, ran by Rick Doblin, and Rick Doblin got conservatives to support MDMA research. He did so by giving MDMA to veterans with PTSD. And conservatives, they like veterans a lot. And if you are a liberal and you believe that veterans are not more love-worthy than some random person on the street, I could not agree with you more, but that is not the point. The point is that the conservative society values veterans, and when we use these levers that conservatives value, we can get them on our side. So helping veterans is one way. Talking about how psychedelics impact religion is another way. How they have been used for thousands of years in native tribes. All of these things can appeal to conservatives. And that is like 50% of the US and European population, which is a huge chunk. And in other less developed countries, it is even more. Society also values science a lot. Unfortunately, when you talk about how MDMA made you more loving, or how 5-MeO-DMT showed you the nature of reality, scientifically minded people don't really resonate with that. They more so value tangible and measurable change. So if we wish these people to resonate with us, we cannot talk about love and oneness and stuff like that. We have to talk in terms of depression lowered by 47%. 80% of participants no longer have symptoms of PTSD, things like that. Even better would be if there was a study on how psychedelics make you rich, or how they make you more attractive visually, or how they increase your lifespan. Because many materialistically minded people believe that the outer world is more important than the inner world. So when you are talking to a person like that about psychedelics, you should rather say that LSD made you more productive and make more money than saying that it made you one with everybody. I feel like if every psychonaut just sticks to these, we will see a massive change pretty soon. But then there are many roles that we can play to further enhance the movement. For example, if you are very compassionate, you know a lot about psychology, and you have a lot of experience with psychedelics, you can become an underground therapist, or you can simply guide your friends through psychedelic experiences. Or if you have a lot of financial resources, you can support research at MAPS or some other organization. Or you could start your own organization like that. Or if you have a following, you can educate people about the benefits, but also about how to prevent the risks. Or if you have a high-level understanding of chemistry, you can manufacture 5-MeO-DMT or LSD, which I don't recommend, by the way. I'm just saying that there are so many roles you can play, and all of these are important. Whatever you do, however, I encourage you to do it in a loving and a non-violent way. If you look at the history and you look at people like Gandhi and Martin Luther King that made huge changes for the better in our society, one thing that all of them had in common was being non-violent. If you try to push the change on the society too aggressively, and you see this movement as psychedelics versus the society, it will never work. We do have to play with the society if we wish to change it, and we have to be gentle and aware of the backlash. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of this. I love you.